deal with airplane peanuts.
This man's coming at us. This man, for whatever reason.
Why? Especially if you're just going to get hurt every year and not even play. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude.
This past weekend, a phenomenal podcast, actually. I was a massive fan.
Was.
I am. Yeah, I guess was. We was.
Compton, I think his eyesight's real bad. He has CTE. He has CTEFG, dude, I saw.
That's between you guys, man.
NFL veterans and Barstool Sports employees Will Compton and Taylor Lewan have publicly called out Theo Von over comments made at their expense on back-to-back episodes of Theo's podcast this past weekend. The Bussin' with the Boys officially declared this beef a few weeks ago on episode 211 of their podcast after claiming Theo Von's been taking weird and unprovoked shots at them.
This man's coming at us.
Yes.
This man, for whatever reason.
So for some context, this past weekend, a phenomenal podcast, actually. I was a massive fan.
Was.
I am. Yeah, I guess was. We was. Last two episodes, George Kittle and Caleb Presley, and he's thrown some weird shots at the boys. Some wild shots.
Punching us right in the groin.
Yeah.
For no reason.
Yeah. It seems like he has beef with me faking the whole Caleb Presley death when Caleb was on a ventilator.
The comments made by Theo Von that they're referring to in that clip happened on episode 435 of this past weekend featuring George Kittle, where Theo made a joke about Taylor Lewan's recent string of injuries, and then followed that up with a similar joke about both Taylor and Will in the very next episode.
Dude, it's Sarah. I was talking to Taylor Lewan today. He was like, yeah, my workout started at 5 a.m. I was like, why?
That's crazy. Yeah, why? Especially if you're just going to get hurt every year and not even play. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude.
Oh, well, maybe it's new.
Start him at fucking
maybe
2.
this is his change. Maybe he's doing something different.
Oh, that's
yeah,
true.
you know, hey, Taylor, he'll be healthy, man. He'll be fine.
Yeah, it is. Some of it, I think, is his attitude gets stuck in his knees, too, and fucking ruins him. I mean, yeah, like, Compton, I think his eyesight's real bad, and he has CTE. He has CTEFG, dude, I saw.
That's between you guys, man.
Now, although Bussin' with the Boys claimed that Theo Von's remarks were unprovoked, for no reason, Theo says that his reasoning for the beef stems from being on the receiving end of a prank where Will Compton convinced him that fellow Barstool Sports employee and Theo's good friend Caleb Presley had suddenly passed away.
People were dying, dude. And then you guys said you did, you know, I got that text on that airplane, and that's when Will Compton said that you died.
Yeah, so when I got out, Will Compton comes and visits me in the hospital, and I told him what happened. My family's telling him what happened because it was funny afterwards. I think it scared them in the moment. He's like, well, let's send a video. Let's tell Theo you died. Tell Theo you did it and you died. So he texts you and he was like, dude, did you hear what happened to Caleb? And you hit him back right away. You're like, what happened? And he was like, he passed away. And then he immediately took a photo of me doing like this in my little gown. But then you're on a plane, so
the photo didn't come in.
The photo didn't come.
Yeah. And he's like, I'm absolutely gutted. That's what he said with the photo, I guess. And so that's all I got. And then that Wi-Fi kept cutting in and out.
Like, yeah, was that a little much and far? Absolutely, but anything for a nice little laugh.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I knew Theo. Like, Theo and I don't know each other that well.
And if you,
so I
but
knew
if you live in the world of giggles,
yeah,
all's fair.
Yeah.
If Theo really is upset, which who knows if he really is. He gets on that flight when he could have went and saw Caleb, and the joke just played out longer because he didn't have Wi-Fi.
When I landed, I found out that it was a joke and you were still alive, so.
Do you and Will still have beef?
I mean, I would say I'm not super fond of somebody that's gonna, first of all, not even fake their own, at least fake your own death.
Yeah. Don't throw me under the bus, under the grave.
It was a complete coincidence that Theo Von just randomly happened to be losing service on a plane at the exact same time Will Compton sent him a text. And because of that, he thought his dear friend was actually dead for a few hours, which is just a hilarious chain of events if you're the pranksters. But it's also what makes this entire thing pretty fucked up from Theo's point of view.
Yeah, man. I remember I was literally crying in my seat, but I bucked up and kept it together. Yeah. And then when I landed, I found out that it was a joke and you were still alive, so.
As we saw earlier, Theo first responded to the fake death prank with a couple of jokes about Taylor and Will's NFL careers, followed by a few jabs about their physical appearances and discussing different ways in which him and Caleb could beat them in a fight, which the boys responded to by bringing up Theo's road rules days, taking shots at his personal appearance, and debating the best course of action against Theo moving forward.
Would you fight him if you saw him?
I don't know if it would be on site, but I think if somebody arranged something, I would say that, do you think you and I could beat them in a fight?
Do we have guns?
I think maybe one gun is hidden in the ring somewhere.
Oh, first man to the gun? No, if it's equal opportunity for the gun, I don't think we win.
Really?
But if we have them.
If we bring guns.
What if it's equal opportunity? If they think it's equal opportunity, it's like right in the middle. And it starts when we pull out guns and kill their ass.
The way you're verbalizing this, I feel like you have them in like a headlock right now. Like,
and you know what? That's a point too. They actually talk about fighting us with guns.
Yeah.
If you're talking about a real fist fight. We are going to body bag both of them, no problem. Now,
But
if it's a verbal war,
verbal fist.
a verbal war is going on, Caleb and Theo, the way their brains work, it's just on a different level. I don't know if it's a higher level. It might be a way sideways level.
Yeah,
but it's just a different level than the way our brains work.
I don't think anyone can really disagree with their predictions on how these altercations could play out. In a physical fight, Bussin' with the boys might actually kill Theo and Caleb with their bare hands, but in a verbal battle of jokes and quick wit, Theo Von and Caleb Presley are a dream team capable of inflicting the same amount of damage to Taylor and Will, if not more.
JP, what'd you say about Theo? Ice Age?
Yeah, Theo looks like the nut that the squirrel is just after the whole time. That's how I view Theo.
There's our best verbal abuser right there.
Boom.
Fucking
Got
JP
his
Hubby,
ass.
dude.
I can't wait till he comes on the bus.
You want any more of that, Theo?
Whether it's Caleb Presley, Glennie Balls, or Dave Portnoy himself, Theo Von and Barstool Sports in general has always been a great crossover. Even this thing that they're calling beef still seems to be somewhat lighthearted at its root, and both sides are actually being funny, making jokes, and remaining entertaining throughout, which is honestly refreshing to see when you compare it to some other beefs in the comedy world. There's a brand new comedy show on the CW called The Great American Joke Off that was created by the same people who made Whose Line Is It Anyway? Each episode features 6 different comedians who take turns telling jokes and responding to different prompts and situations. The show is hosted by Dolce Sloan and features a ton of talented comedians like Alonzo Bowden, Joe List, Natasha Leggero, and Ed Gamble, to name a few, plus 3 former Joke World guests, Mark Norman, Fahim Anwar, and Matthew Broussard.
I'm actually like a bat in the bedroom as well. There's a lot of biting and I squeak at the end.
Hey, do you want to make out in the alley where my parents were murdered?
Alfred likes to watch.
How'd you like to get a virus from a bat that isn't COVID? Wait, what about my skin-tight rubber suit and young male gymnast assistant made you think I was gay?
One of the main reasons podcasts and crowd work clips have become so popular as of late is because it's really cool to see comedians thinking on their feet. Written jokes are still great, obviously, but there's something even funnier when someone says something you know wasn't planned, which happens a lot in this show. Guest spots from last week: Your Mom's House had on Chris Porter, Two Bears, One Cave was Bert and Jim Jeffries, Kill Tony this week was with Adam Ray. Adam Ray was also the guest on the Harlan Highway. We Might Be Drunk had on Noel Miller. Roy Wood Jr. was on Flagrant. The Are You Garbage Boys had a busy week, being the guest on the Giannis Papas Hour, the Boys Cast, and stopping by Chrissy Chaos. The Are You Garbage Boys also had the episode of the week when they hosted Uncle Joey Diaz for the first time.
Forget, I'm Cuban, but I'm white trash. I tell my wife all the time, I go, don't feel bad, I'm white trash too.
You're making Cuban sandwiches with Wonder Bread?
Oh, no, not that white trash. But I love all the shit.
Over and hit you?
Yeah, I love all that shit.
I apologize on behalf. I apologize. I didn't know he was going to say that.
No. I am white trash, brother.
This past weekend with Theo Von talked with Rainn Wilson. The Joe Rogan Experience had on Pauly Shore. Logic did the Bad Friends Shuffle last week, going on Tiger Belly and Whiskey Ginger. Sean Patton was on The Honeydew. Sarah Sherman was on Stavi's World. Sal Volcano was on The Blocks Podcast. This Bitch Podcast had on Josh Wolf. And Chris O'Connor and Tommy Pope were the guests on Matt and Shane's Secret Podcast. As far as new stand-up specials that are either out right now or coming out soon, Nimish Patel Lucky Lefty is out right now on YouTube. I would definitely recommend giving that a watch sometime this week. Other than that, not too many new specials besides a crop that came out a few weeks ago, like Styros Halkias' Crowdwork special, Christopher Titus' Zero Side Effects, and John Mulaney Baby J, which I think could be an early frontrunner for special of the year if you ask me. Also, I'm not sure how many people know this, but these comedy news update videos that we post here every single Tuesday are also available to be downloaded in audio form wherever you listen to podcasts. So if you want to stay in the comedy loop on the go, maybe you got like a 10-15 minute drive, boom, perfect time to catch up on all your favorite comedians. Just search Joke World wherever you listen to podcasts, give it a download, and boom, you're off to the races, having the time of your absolute life listening to the Joke World Comedy News Update in your car, you're cruising, and you're still thinking in your head, I can't wait to go watch this video on YouTube so I can still like and comment and subscribe, even though I'm supporting them in the audio version as well. Thank you for watching.
At Joke World. That's it, at Joke World.
And the world is WRLD.